Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for this next mod. If you have the Shadowland Tarot, then you know that the gilding is very thick and sharp on this. So it's made this deck virtually unusable for me because it hurts, literally hurts your hands when you're trying to shuffle. So I am picking some sandpaper here, and I will be sanding down the gilding. I've chosen the lightest grit that I have. It says 150 or P150. I'm actually trying to sand the whole deck at once. However, I realized as I was doing this project that if you've already shuffled your deck, I do use reversals, so my deck was, some cards were up and some cards were down. And I noticed that the deck is not even. You literally have to put them all right side up to get a real flat edge. I noticed the cards were kind of, it seemed like one card was taller than the other, like they weren't the same length, but it was, I don't know, something, cards are never perfect, I guess, once they're flipped around, if they're cut off. So going through and sanding individually because it wasn't working the other way until later when I realized that I can put them all face up, and that's what I was just doing there. You just have to be very careful around the edges. I didn't want to take all the gold off. Well, first I was going to try, but I noticed the more you rub trying to get all the gold off, then you could be splitting the actual paper. So I'm lightly just going around and getting the bulk of the gilding off. And that will leave certain spots with little flecks of gold, which actually turn out pretty cool. Once I go in with my super tips, for this one I used the color violet, and I go around the cards and being super tips, they are washable. So this way, I was thinking about, I have a purple Sharpie as well, but I was thinking with Sharpie, it's more permanent. Is the Sharpie going to cover the gold? Because I actually thought, well, if the gold is there, then it will stay, shine through. I just wasn't sure if Sharpie would completely just mark over that gold and it wouldn't shine through and it'd be permanent. So I decided to go with the washable super tips that I love and usually go with anyways, because they have so many colors. If you accidentally slip on the card, you can wipe it right off. These aren't even a high gloss cards. These are actually not laminated, and I slipped a few times, and if you wipe it right away before it dries, it wipes right off. So it's very forgiving compared to Sharpies. I am liking how it turned out. However, once the entire deck is done, I enjoyed it for a little while, but as time went on and as the ink dries, I realized that the gold obviously is going to shine and have that reflective shine to it, and the purple is more flat. There is no shine or metallic reflective. And I happen to have the folk art metallic in color amethyst, and it is something that I've used before on a different deck, and so I know it you're able to put those on the edges and it turns out fine. It actually locks right in as well. So in a little while here, once I get this whole deck done, you'll see after my before and after pictures with the before, and then it'll show before with the gold gilding, and then after with the marker. And then there'll be a new before and after picture, because that's when I go over with the metallic paint to make that purple shine like the gold is. However, because it is the paint, it is covering the gold, and I'm not sure how much of the gold will shine through, hopefully over time. I was hoping more of the gold would have shined through. I probably should have just wiped it very lightly. I have my a wide flat brush where I used, and I was kind of just wiping over it very lightly, almost dry brushing it on, and it looked fantastic. But of course it was working so well that I kept adding more paint. So this is kind of my finished product of the purple, just the purple marker with the gold shining through. I love how that looks. Love it. I do, there's that picture. I do like now this is the after picture with the purple, so that's beautiful as well, and it does give that reflective. So there's a before and after of that. It's just not as much gold shining through, but maybe over time with using the deck. And so this is my process of how I painted around that. And I actually didn't give any time. This paint dries very fast. I didn't give any time, like I literally paint around the deck, and then I separate all the cards, and I just wait a minute or two, and then I pick them up and start shuffling them. It dries very fast. It dries so fast that as I was trying to separate the cards and lay them out, some of the cards were already drying and sticking together. So just make sure if you're going to use this method or technique, to don't just leave the deck together because you're afraid of touching it or anything like that. It's dry. This is drying very fast. And then later you'll see me take the cards and go over with the, kind of wipe the edges with that cloth that's there, trying to actually get some of the paint off because I wanted to see more of the gold. However, the paint was dry. So trying to think if there's anything, other tips that I wanted to tell you that happened during the process, so then you would know. I think that's about it. I really like this purple. It's beautiful. Now it looks like actual gilding. I might do an update post as far as how it works with, see there, I'm kind of trying to wipe off some of the paint. But as you can see, there's nothing coming on the rag. I'm just doing that also just in case there's any spots that might be thicker that I'm thinking they're all dry, but they're not. But I'll possibly do an update to show you how this deck evolves over time if more of the gold shows through. If this deck has helped you or given you any ideas, or if this video has given you any ideas or helped you, please make sure to like and subscribe so that others can see this video as well. I appreciate it. Thank you. Catch you next time, guys.